You know that thing where you get an amazing pair of shoes at a really great price and want to tell everyone about it? Yeah, so do we. Here at Designer Shoe Warehouse, we'll give you something to brag about, like the latest styles from brands you love, or the trends everyone's obsessing over, or shoes that make you feel like, well, you. So go ahead, show off a little. Find shoes that get you at prices that get your budget. Head to your DSW store or DSW.com today. DSW. Let us surprise you.
You're listening to Make Some Noise podcast, episode number 723. Welcome to Make Some Noise podcast, your guide for strategies, tools, and insight to empower yourself. I'm your host, Andrea Owen, global speaker, entrepreneur, life coach since 2007, and author of 3 books that have been translated into 18 languages and are available in 22 countries. Each week, I'll bring you a guest or a lesson that will help you maximize unshakable confidence, master resilience, and make some noise in your life. You ready? Let's go. Hey everyone, happy birthday to me. I'm going to say that right out of the gate. April 15th is my 51st birthday. Yes, it feels weird hearing that number come out of my mouth because I still, in my mind, think I'm 29. 29, I feel like you're not young. You know, you're like at the end of your 20s, but you're also not 30 yet. And so it still feels young. I feel 29. I perpetually feel 29. But alas, here I am coming to you live at 51. So this particular podcast episode, I wanted to just sort of riff intuitively on what I wanted to tell you on my 51st birthday. I sat down, opened up my notes app, and wrote down 3 things. It's like one of those, if someone gave me 30 seconds on stage and said, tell people what you want to tell them on your 31st birthday, or 31st. That's my Freudian slip. I'm going to leave that in. I'm not going to edit that out. What do I want to tell people on my 51st birthday? This is not what I would be telling people on my 31st birthday. But if I had 30 seconds and had to just do 3 quick takeaways of what I want to say at this age, I have 3 things I want to tell you. But first, quick announcement. Shannon Kaiser and I have opened registration on our new program. It's a live masterclass, and it's called The Words You're Meant to Write Masterclass. I have a whole story about how Shannon and I came to come up with this program, which I'm not going to get into that because I'll go on for like 15 minutes. But really, it is a mentorship that kind of redefines what a writing program can be, because we're coming at you with the business acumen in terms of the writing industry and as writers, as well as, oh my gosh, I think 25 years or more between the two of us of leading groups of women, you know, and with emotional heavy lifting type of topics. So that's what makes it unique in terms of writing programs. I'm just going to say this and I'm going to move on. In 6 weeks, you will stop just kind of swimming around the idea of what you want to write and begin writing and sharing it. You move through the conditioning that has silenced you and kept you last, what I wrote about in Make Some Noise, in my book, Make Some Noise. You're going to learn to trust the message that you know is ultimately your medicine, and leave the program with a clear path to publish and bring your words to life in a way that can genuinely impact others. And it may just be impacting you. That's okay too. So it's for writers, and it's not just for people who want to write a book. It's for people who want to create perhaps a body of work on Substack. Maybe you are a poet. Maybe you just want to see if writing a book is for you and you have an idea for a memoir or narrative nonfiction or something like that. Come and check it out. It's at write.shesavesherself.org. And the link, of course, will be in the show notes. So let me get into point number 1 of what I want to tell you on my 51st birthday. All right, the first thing, speaking of writing, the first thing I wrote down in my notes app is the following. Plant medicine, astrology, and writing, those 3 things will tell you everything you need to know about your healing. And I thought about those 3 things when I wrote them down because it just came to me intuitively. Plant medicine, astrology, and writing. I'm like, why did I pick those 3 things? what is the through line? And so the through line I noticed is that all three of these things are sort of, the term I could come up with is revelation technologies, not a literal technology, but just they allow you to have revelations. And so plant medicine, astrology, and writing don't create the truth, but they surface it. And that's what I have found has been the real sort of accelerator for someone like me who has done a lot of the learning aspects, right? I learned all of the information. I've been trained on it. I've coached people on it. I've written books about it. But the plant medicine is the thing that strips our ego defenses. And when you are sitting in ceremony or participating in plant medicine, it, from a kind of practical point of view, it shuts off the default mode network, and that's the part of your brain that, the inner critic and the logical part of your brain, it shuts it off, or quiets it rather. And it shows you what you have been avoiding. It shows you the deep emotional aspects that you've been avoiding so that you can have those revelations. And then astrology, and why I put astrology in this category as well, is that astrology gives you a map of your own psyche, written before you were even old enough to read, let alone to armor yourself against it. And then with writing, especially the kind that I coach people through, especially the kind of writing that I do and that I encourage people to do, writing is the place where the thing that you have been sort of, subconsciously perhaps circling around will finally land on the page. It has the capacity to get there on the page and become real. And then it becomes a revelation. It becomes the sort of thing that you needed to fill in the gaps for your own learning, your own processing, and your own healing. Plant medicine, astrology, and writing also, all three of them ask you to look deeply at your life. They ask you to look deeply at your psyche, at your neuroses, at your stories from your life, at stories of what might be coming at you if it's astrology. I'm going to use my memoir that I've been writing for what feels like 150 years as an example. And so this particular book incorporates all three of these things that I just mentioned, because my memoir is really the story of my first marriage and that entire relationship. And that relationship ended in 2006. Y'all, it has been 20 years, and I am just now mostly wrapping up the memoir about it. That story could not be told until my nervous system was ready to actually even hold it, let alone tell it. And it was plant medicine and writing that got me there, those two things. And then in terms of astrology, what astrology told me is it showed me things like my Saturn return that happened right when I got divorced. And it allowed me to take many, many steps back and go, oh my gosh, this truly was these massive, but also magnificent and magical life lessons that I was bestowed. And that pain and trauma has been such a mirror and through line throughout my life. And so plant medicine, astrology, and writing has helped me heal so much from that really traumatic relationship. So that's the first one. Plant medicine, astrology, and writing will tell you everything you need to know about your healing. The second thing I want to tell you on my 51st birthday is that 14 years without alcohol, I have made it through the last dark night of the soul sober, which is amazing to me. I don't talk about my sobriety as much as I probably should. Definitely not as much as I used to, because it's become such a easy part of my life that I don't even notice that it's working in the background anymore. But I will say this, my sobriety and the recovery from it, the subsequent recovery from it, has been probably like top 3 most proud things that I have done in my life. The real story isn't just about the abstaining from alcohol. It's what that abstaining made possible for me. Every bit of clarity that I've had during plant medicine ceremonies, every transit that I've tracked in my own astrological natal chart with a clear head, every page of my memoir that has been written from my actual nervous system being regulated and not numbed out or hungover. That's the return on investment for me on that decision that I made 14 and a half years ago. And if you're listening to this and you are someone who is somewhere in that question yourself of, oh my gosh, should I get sober? Could I stay sober? I want to just say this. I want to make this note. I didn't just white knuckle through the last 5 years. And P.S., for those of you that might be new to the show, my last 5 years has been a dark night of the soul, especially the last probably 2.5 years. I'm coming up for air. I did an episode called The Longest Sunrise where I talk about this. I'll link to it in the show notes. But the last several years that I've been having a difficult time, I didn't white knuckle it. I felt every moment of it. All of the moments, like the really dark moments where I did not want to wake up the next morning, the grief, the disillusion of a long relationship, moving out of the house with my family that I'd lived within for 9 years, friendships ending. There was so much, you guys, there was so much. And being present for all of that, not running away, is what allowed me to integrate the grief and process the holy shit of terrifying emotions and experiences that were happening to me. And it allowed me to move through it faster, allowed me to learn things from it, allowed me to take accountability and responsibility for things that I needed to. Because trust me when I tell you, I was not a perfect person throughout this entire process. But for those of you listening who might be thinking about either trying to abstain for like a little experiment or getting sober, that is the part that I thought would kill me. The having to sit through hour after hour, day after day, week after week, emotions that were so overwhelming to me, even when I was drinking, I was like, that is going to absolutely murder me. Being sober for all of that, no thank you. No thank you. I'm here to tell you that you can do it. You can do it. And after a while, you will realize it's so much better to do it this way. It is so much better to actually be present for your life. It makes me feel alive. I don't like some of it, but it also makes me feel alive. And I really like feeling alive. Okay, I have one more thing to say about that, but because this podcast doesn't pay for herself, we need to take a quick ad break. So we'll be right back. This show is sponsored by MIDI Health. Listen, there are times in life when we practice acceptance. I talk about it all the time here on the show. We let things go, we breathe through it, we rise above. But menopause, not one of those times. If you're in perimenopause or menopause and something feels off in your body and you're being told you're too young, it's just stress, or your symptoms are normal, don't let them tell you that. If your hair is thinning, your sleep is not okay, your mood is on a roller coaster and someone just shrugs it off, don't let them. If hot flashes are hijacking your life or it's taking months or years to get real answers, don't let them. You deserve actual care, not dismissal or gaslighting, and no outdated information from a system that was never built with midlife women in mind in the first place. That's why I love what MIDI Health is doing. They're a virtual clinic created by women for women, specializing in midlife hormonal transitions. They personalize treatment, offer FDA-approved hormonal and non-hormonal options, and they're available 24/7. And yes, they take insurance. This is about advocating for yourself. This is about better care, period. Book your virtual visit today at joinmidi.com. That's joinmidi.com.
Half man, The new HBO original limited series from Baby Reindeer creator Richard Gadd examines the tumultuous relationship between two estranged brothers, tracking the highs and lows of the pair over the course of 40 years. Starring Emmy Award winner Richard Gadd and BAFTA Award winner Jamie Bell. Half-Man premieres April 23rd on HBO Max.
Amazon presents Jeff versus Taco Truck Salsa. Whether it's Verde, Roja, or the orange one. For Jeff, trying any salsa is like playing Russian roulette with a flamethrower. Luckily, Jeff saved with Amazon and stocked up on antacids, ginger tea, and milk. Habanero? More like habanero, yes. Save the everyday with Amazon.
Okay, the last thing I want to say about sobriety before I move on to the last point I want to make on my 51st birthday is that I want to name the cultural pressure that women face around alcohol specifically. We have mommy wine culture, the way that women are encouraged to medicate the discomfort of their lives rather than examine it, rather than name systems that are working against us to keep us down. Sobriety for me, because of that, wasn't just a personal health decision. It wasn't just something that intuitively I know where I needed to end up. It was also an early act of disobedience for me that's now central to everything that I want to do and going forward, everything I want to teach. It was an act of resistance, pushing back on a culture that tries to silence women, make us small, make us just big enough to serve other people. That's what I was pushing up against. No. I'm going to be sober and clear-headed for my whole life so that I can make decisions clearly and with integrity and in my authenticity. So again, 14 years without alcohol. I made it through all of this sober. And the last thing I want to talk about, my last point for my 51st birthday, really is just sort of I can't believe that I made it out of this part of my life, because I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be straight with you. Perimenopause combined with a second divorce, combined with the planet Chiron, the wounded healer, coming back, because it comes back around your late 40s, like around your 50th birthday. And then this fucking moment in history with the absolute bullshit that we're having to deal with and resist against is no fucking joke. 4 things hit simultaneously, and they were each massive on their own. I mean, isn't divorce like one of the top 7 stressors of life? It's like somebody dying, losing a job, getting married, getting divorced. I forget what the other things are. They're like huge things, but all of those things together. Chiron return is the astrology of the deepest wound returning to be integrated. That's what that is. More on that another time. It's not punishment. It's not the universe punishing you, although for some people it can feel like it. But it's the soul saying, hey, we're finally ready to finish this life lesson that you've been carrying around since birth. But it doesn't necessarily make it gentle when you know what it's there to help you with. Perimenopause, which really isn't an initiation process. It truly is. We need rites of passage like ceremonies for perimenopause and menopause. It's a literal neurological and hormonal rewiring that we go to. And we all have bodies that are dismantling themselves in real time while we're trying to stay standing and parent and live our lives. And that's perimenopause and menopause. And then I had a second divorce and a cultural moment of reckoning and collective trauma, and the dismantling of, not to mention the dismantling of systems. Women were told would protect us and that we could trust. No big deal. And all of that combined is a level of pressure that would break a lot of people, or at least knock you down. And my point with this one isn't to complain, isn't to say like, oh my God, it's so hard for me. Here's what I actually want you to know. And so I think that when we get into places like that, we can feel like there's something wrong with us. And I know that I have had people that I'm close to tell me that. Like, what is wrong with you that you have this dark night of the soul? And P.S., on a side note, I think that people do that to us because they're afraid that your difficult period of time or whatever your situation is, they're afraid it's contagious. They look at it as almost like an affront to themselves. And I think a lot of times what is happening is that they're looking in a mirror and they're seeing their own pain and hurt, and they're watching someone really go through it. And it makes them very, very uncomfortable. Anyway, what I want you to know is that if you are going through any one of those, let alone a combination of them, there is nothing wrong with you. Okay? I fell apart because I said yes to something new. I said yes to someone new, and that was my next version of me. When we have dark nights of the soul, they are not failure. It's part of the process of transformation. I think that a lot of people, when it was just not their destiny to have these major transformations that we all have the option to go through, I think that they numb themselves through it. I think that they are dismissive of their own pain and they just push it down, run away in a circle over and over again until they die. And that is just their destiny. That is not for me to judge or try to drag them into transformation, healing, integration, all that stuff. No, that's for me to talk on this podcast to you people, because you are the ones who said yes to this kind of life. And so if you find yourself in one of those dark nights of the soul, no matter what period of your life it is, please know that that is part of the process. You're doing it correctly. I hate that it sucks. And for me, I had 5 years compressed, and it honestly, like, if I'm being real, I feel like what I went through could have been like 20 years. Like, could I have had that would have been like more reasonable amount of time for all of that to go through. But alas, I am always kind of a lot. I like to really dive into the deep end and cannonball. All that to say, these types of transformations are sacred and they are not shameful. They're absolutely sacred. So that's it. That's what I wanted to tell you on my 51st birthday. I really hope that you will check out The Words You're Here to Write with me and my friend and amazing best-selling author, Shannon Kaiser. I am so excited to gather the most amazing group of women to take through 6 weeks and work on your writing. Again, all those links are in the show notes. And remember, it's our life's journey to make ourselves better humans and our life's responsibility to make the world a better place. Bye for now. Hey, did you know there's free secret podcast episodes waiting for you that are not part of my regular podcast feed? Yes, AndreaOwen.com/free. And you just sign up. You get a link sent to you. It's very secret. It's like a secret club. We don't have a secret handshake. Don't worry about that. But it's these motivating podcast episodes that I made for you. They're under 20 minutes each. There's 3 of them. They're for wherever you are in your life. So head on over there and grab them. They range from really supporting you and seeing you where you are and being compassionate, all the way to giving you a giant kick in your ass and telling you how amazing and gorgeous and phenomenal you are. So AndreaOwen.com/free and get your hands on that free podcast feed.
Stitch Fix. Shopping is hard. Let's talk about it.
I don't have time to shop for clothes.
I have to buy everything in 3 sizes to find one that fits. They know me at the post office.
Workout wear is my only wear.
Stitch Fix makes shopping easy. Just show your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. No subscription required, plus free shipping and returns.
Oh, wow. That was easy.
Stitch Fix, online personal styling for everyone. Take your style quiz today at stitchfix.com.